Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Brandon's Face, the podcast about a playlist. My name is Brandon with the face.
And I'm Jonathan.
Hey, Jonathan, how are you, man?
I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. It's been a crazy month for music. This is our second edition of the September 2021 podcast. We had to split it in two. We had a total of 21 hours on the playlist this month.
Yeah, 327 songs. I
Woo!
honestly think I'm gonna have to go back and see what our highest month is, but this is pushing it for sure.
Well, and it just means that there was a lot of good music that released this month, and I'm excited to get into it with you again for the second time in September. Let's go ahead and jump right into the singles. We ended off last talk we had with the Heartwork Deluxe album with by the Used. But
hmm
we have Marion Hill right after that with "It Never Ends." I think off of her newer album or her new album that she's releasing. Is that correct?
Are we not gonna review Donda again to start this?
Oh, we're definitely not going to review Donda. I'm never listening to it
I'm
again.
joking. I'm joking. Yeah, I don't. I tried to look up if they formally announced a new album, and I haven't seen anything concrete. But they've been releasing singles steadily all year. This one, another solid single, a little bit slower than the last two, but still like I think I am drawn to them just because of like the R&B elements in her voice and like I don't know their names. I think it's a guy mostly on keyboards and a drum pad that makes all the beats and the girl is the vocalist. Um, but I don't know, man. I love their music and I'm excited for a new album.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if this wasn't an album rollout. I think the album artworks are similar. I think the sound is similar, even though this one is a little bit slower. This is a very good song. I love her voice, man. It's kind of enchanting, you know. It's got
That's a
that
good way to put it.
it's got that quality, you know.
Totally.
Um, Moving on, we have a Gaspard Auguet and Victor Lemons. Lemasne, something like that.
Yeah.
It's a jungle remix. Well, it's the
Yeah.
Gaspard
Keep
Auguet of a
moving.
jungle song, rather.
Yeah.
Are those xylophones that I'm hearing? It's a
I'm,
good song, man.
yeah, you actually, I think, text me this when it dropped, and
Yeah.
I was like, it's been a big year for Gaspard from Justice. I don't know who Victor is, but everything in this remix is fucking amazing. So whatever he contributed, terrific work. Um, I think my joke was when you text me it that like it sounds like all of the cocaine was taken in the making of this remix. And
Correct.
that's the best compliment I can possibly give it for this whole disco era. This one might just top everything. I think my hot take is for as legendary of a as of a remix as this is, I think the original's still better. I think it's that good of a song. What are your
I
thoughts?
love it when that happens. You know, I'm gonna have to agree with you. It's the original is such a good song. I've gone back to that album a handful of times, and it's just spectacular. It's very good.
Yeah. I think one of our last conversations about it, you or even when we reviewed it, you said there isn't a skip on this album, and I think when I reviewed it, maybe I gave it an 8. It's a 10 for sure. I've gone back to it as well. You're right. Like there's nothing I can criticize about it. There's like without really trying to just be, a nitpicky little bitch, which like there's no fun in doing that with an album that good, really. And man, it's fucking crazy because I've gone back through and kind of been not to tease our end of the year special, but I've been getting that ready a little bit in terms of our categories for albums of the year.
Yep.
And retroactively, I think the only two tens I have are Jungle and Porter at the moment. And we still have Flight Facilities dropping.
Yep.
We have Res dropping. We have Rufus Du Sol dropping. We have Swedish House possibly dropping. It's going to be a stacked month or two ahead, and I'm so excited to break all of those down at the end of the year and really try and see how our feelings are after we've digested these albums for a few months and see what ones will stick with us in the years to come.
Yeah, the next couple months are going to be crazy for electronic music, and I as somebody who just absolutely loves electronic music, man, I cannot wait for a lot of these albums to drop. So yeah, I'm very excited. It's going to be a good couple months.
Yeah, very excited. Terrific remix. Maybe we'll do a remix of the year category. That sounds fun.
Hey, I really like that actually. I really like that. I think maybe we should. Because
Yeah.
there have been some really spectacular remixes this month or this year rather. All right.
Yeah, there's been some great ones. I'll put together a short list. Text me any you can think of as well.
So moving on to some music that is not electronic music, but I'm also very excited for the War on Drugs. I Don't Live Here Anymore, featuring Lucius. Uh, Look, man, this is classic. The War on Drugs. It's a little bit poppier than he usually does, but um, it's almost anthemic. I liked this song. What did you think?
I wasn't a big fan of it, so I'm not going to judge it too harshly because they have an album coming out on October 29th. So,
Yep.
or I think it's called I Don't Live Here Anymore, which is
Yep.
so this is the title track off of the album. I like the 80s instrumental vibe. I don't know if I'm into like the Don Henley style dad lyric, like vocal style, but I'm willing to give it a chance. I can't judge this out of context.
Fair. That's fair. Yeah, I'm excited for the album. I'm not a huge fan of the album cover. If you look through their profile, they have some pretty
Let me take a
neat
look.
album covers. If you ask me, and this one just kind of doesn't fit. So, I'm gonna
Yeah,
reserve
not
thoughts on
great.
that until I listen to the rest of the album. But you know me, I like dad rock. I'm that guy, man.
I respect it.
I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that it's not good just because it's dad rock. So that's me.
Yep, and
Um,
I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that it is good just to be respectful of your taste, but
Fair, absolutely fair, man. No, I love that. So moving on, we have a Kalani single, "Alter." I think you added this.
yeah. She. How familiar are you with Kalani?
On a scale of 1 to 10, it's going to be a zero.
Okay, so she is one of the, I'd say, I hate to break things into sex, but male R&B and female R&B are kind of two different genres to me, and she's one of the top female R&B artists. She put out an album last year called "It Was Good Until It Wasn't," which is probably my second favorite R&B album of last year, if not first.
All right.
And she put out a mixtape before that that was a little bit, it was mostly R&B, but she dabbles in pop too. And her first album or her first two albums kind of go between like a modern Aaliyah pop R&B sound. But this one, like her voice is good and that comes across on this, but I don't know. This song was just boring to me. She announced her new album is going to be called Blue Water Road, which I'm not getting good vibes from the name, man. It makes me think of like a country album. She recently became a mom, so I think that it's gonna kind of have a lot of those themes in it. But honestly, her last album was so good that I don't really give a shit. It's like the one for me, one for them type of thing. So I'll let it
Fair.
pass and I'll judge the album in total when it comes out. What did you think of the song?
I actually really liked this song. Her voice
Okay.
is very accessible. Is
Yes.
what I wrote down. It kind of has like an indie vibe to it, which was weird. I wrote down, is this indie R&B? Like it kind of caught me off guard a little bit. I did enjoy it. And
It's just prodding. I wish that it mixed up a little bit, at least in the back half. Not necessarily a beat change, but it never changes. It's the same constant beat throughout.
like some added percussion or something like that.
Yeah, just something. And she does like some good vocal runs in it that are, I'm like, wow, that's the reason I'm a fan of you. But at the same time, like, I'll have to curate some songs to show you of her since you're a zero in terms of familiarity
You know,
with her.
I think I might have heard the name, and you've probably talked about Kalani before, but yeah, I'm just not very familiar. So yeah, curate some songs for me.
Will do.
All right, moving on. We have Majid Jordan,
Yeah.
Summer Rain. Um, I liked it. I thought it was pretty neat.
Yeah, we've reviewed a couple of their singles this year, and my original notes, I think, were something along the lines of like, it's the same as Marion Hill. It's like, I like all of the singles you release. Just give me an album when it's ready. And they actually did announce their album While the Streams comes out October 22nd.
All right.
They kind of always have this like pop R&B Miami four to the floor type sound, and
I wrote down it's as if a '90s R&B star wrote a late '80s anthem.
yeah, very Michael Jackson inspired a lot.
Yep.
They're on OVO, they're on Drake's label, so it always has like a little bit of a hip hop feel to it, even though it's not really hip hop at all.
Yep.
But we'll review that album at the end of the month.
Yeah, that's good. That's gonna be fun.
Hell yeah.
All right, so Bring Me the Horizon, Die for You, written really, really stupidly. Look, man, I hate how good this is. I don't think it's a
Thank you.
Bring Me the
Okay.
Horizon
Thank you.
song. I don't think it
No,
like
it is though. This is what I've come to expect from them. I think they released that best of. I think if you scroll through their Spotify albums, you'll even see after Sempiternal was really the end of the band that we always think is going to come back.
Oh
And
yeah.
I do think if you listen from what was that album called? Throne Spirit. That's the Spirit, I think was the album. From that album on, aside from a few like experimental EPs and singles, they've really been pretty consistent. This is the most screaming I think we've gotten from him, even though it's kind of layered with singing, just beginning to end in a song in a long time. But our boys have traded breakdowns for guitar solos, man, and I don't know whether to be happy or sad, but I like it. It's good. The chorus is a little, they're going for that like Kid Laroi, Justin Bieber kind of thing right now, which I don't think they need to do because they are the trendsetter.
Yeah, I think that that's fair. I think that they've kind of carved out a really weird, like, rave friendly rock show kind of vibe. They've kind of carved this niche out in music, like as a whole. Because I
Mhm.
mean, I can't really think of many bands that do exactly what they do, and I
Have you
have to
ever
give
seen
them
them
that.
live?
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed.
What era?
I saw them at Aftershock Festival in 2019.
Okay, so that's outside, so it's was it outside, I'm
It
assuming.
was outside, and they played.
Okay.
I think they played right before Blink 182.
So very weird atmosphere,
Yeah.
but the last time I saw them was the tour that they were doing for Sempiternal with Of Mice and Men and Issues, and I think Let Live.
Oh, that sounds
And
awesome.
it was a good show. But like you were saying, like you really put it on the nail on the head. They've kind of fused like the rave euphoria in their shows because when they opened with Can You Feel My Heart, like still one of just like the best live songs ever. And like it's one of those ones where like you feel stupid if you have your phone out almost because you just want to enjoy the moment. It's that
Yep.
fucking like insanely good live. And I think while you and I miss the grindcore, we miss Pray for Plagues, we miss fucking Chelsea Smile and Diamonds Aren't Forever and that band.
Yes.
Like I do think they've matured into a good band. I
Question
don't know. You know what I'm kind of interested in going forward? I wonder what British rock like bands think of them.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because they like you can't deny their success at this point.
No, I mean you can't.
But like
And
I can't imagine the Strokes or the Arctic Monkeys or like like
right.
those guys are kicking ass. Like I bet you they hate this shit. They have to, right?
Well, I mean, to be fair, Julian Casablancas, I don't know if you ever heard him talk, but he doesn't like many things.
Yeah.
But
Oh, I remember him opening for Kanye. Yeah. He was very happy about
yeah,
that.
he doesn't like many things, like full stop. Well, besides the cringy ass song title, I really hated how good this was. So I'll give it the respect it deserves.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up.
2 thumbs up. All right, moving on to something that I really liked. Papa Rod, whom I had never heard of, in the Papa Rod EP. I'm going to kind of go first here. I had never heard of
Take it away.
this guy. The bass line on "Hit 'Em Where It Hurts" is fucking awesome. This is just, it was groovy. It's unique. It's fun to listen to. It's kind of a grab bag of a bunch of different soul and blues, and it's fantastic, man. I really liked it. How did you hear? Have you been a fan of him or?
So last year, I was kind of just surfing playlists, and I got tired of making playlists for a while last year. So I was just trying to find playlists that like had a lot of songs or moods that I was into.
Yeah.
And this guy's first song that he ever publicly released on streaming is "Hit 'Em Where It Hurts."
Oh.
And it became like a staple on a lot of like late night or party playlists and stuff like that. And it's on a lot of like the Spotify curated ones. So I think if you look at the streaming numbers on that, yeah, and 17 million plays on his first song ever.
Jesus Christ, man.
And he's released all the subsequent 3 this year as like the follow-ups. And
got it.
They're not quite as polished as "Hit 'Em Where It Hurts, but they're all great. Like you said, and he's showing you a little bit more than just what he does on that song, although that's the most undeniable single of the batch. I think he's definitely going to be one to watch. Weird name.
Yeah.
But I like it. I really like it, and I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It was fun to listen to.
I agree.
Next up, we've got a split single, "Books" and "Waste My Time," both songs by Alan Raymond.
Have we talked about Alan Raymond together yet?
I don't think that we have, man.
Oh man. Okay, so I've been waiting to talk about this guy since we've started doing this. I listen to him weekly. I've been a fan of his since I think his first or second album dropped. A lot of he's an interesting guy that oscillates genres a lot, and he has a lot of like blues and grunge influence, but like also like kind of an alternative R&B thing. He's kind of hard to describe, but I don't think he's everyone's cup of tea off the bat. So I was wondering if this was going to be another King Cruel thing to where you're like, I don't get it, man. Why do you like this? So I'm kind of interested in hearing if you like it and what your thoughts on these songs are.
So, "Books" is like a really nice and smooth song. I really liked the lyrics on "Books." I didn't write any down, but I wrote down that I really liked them. They've kind of got this song kind of gave me like very slight Chet Faker vibes, and then "Waste My Time" really confirms that Chet Faker comparison, in my opinion.
Yep.
I enjoyed both of them. I thought they were really neat.
Yeah, they're fantastic. I'm gonna throw a song or two of his on our playlist next month.
Oh yeah, man.
There's a few like he's got like some Stone Temple Pilots vibes in a few songs that I think you're really gonna like, and that's the only way I can describe it.
Look, man, if you can genre blend and genre bend, I'm all for it. If you start out as a pure deathcore band and then move on to rave, dad rock at a rave show,
We're going back to Bring Me the Horizon. I thought we had moved on from the Bring Me the Horizon.
I'm sorry, man. I'm just I have a lot of pain in my heart with that one, man.
We will never sleep.
Well, sleep is for the weak.
Yes.
Definitely throw some Alan Raymond on this month on the October list, because I'm very interested.
We'll do it. Yeah, and there was a little bit of brass, I think, in one of those songs, which I imagine you were a fan of,
As is tradition.
as is
I
tradition.
just can't help it, man.
Yeah, me too. I'm a sucker for it, especially saxophone right
I
now.
mean, somebody who plays a good saxophone, man, get at me. Anybody who's listening to this and you can recommend me a good saxophone player, hit it up. All right. Next up, we have a Party Favor featuring Elohim. Losing My Mind. This is a certified fucking banger, bro.
Yep, it
Like this
is
is so good.
festival ready, man. Or I guess this is like warehouse ready a little bit more. It's good. Is Elohim one girl or is it
Yes,
a group? Okay.
just one girl.
Yeah, she's really just mastered like the whole how to sing over this type of music and enhance it. Use your voice as an instrument. Don't override the music.
You know, one thing that really blew me away when I saw her live was she does all of the production on stage herself. That's it. All of the production that she does on a lot of her, on all of her original music. You know, not like this where she's like featuring on a party favorite track, but she does
Mhm.
all of it live, and it's really neat to watch. It's just it's fun. She's got this really cool live setup, and maybe I'll try to find an example of it on YouTube to throw in the show notes. But yeah,
Yes.
I think the last couple of songs she had released I wasn't a big fan of, and this one I am. So I'm glad that I'm hearing more Elohim that I like, and I'm always going to be a fan of hers. So
Totally. I mean, I know that you and your wife are big fans of hers, and
correct.
I probably just need to check her out more. I think the last song of hers we ended up reviewing an EP, but the last one of hers I remember is that Strut song,
Yeah,
and
the
I need
one.
to get that one out of my head because that one
Yeah.
was dumb.
Yeah, that was a thing.
They're not
So,
all going to be winners.
no, they're not. A lot of her older music is very good. I highly recommend a few of them.
Yeah,
Maybe
throw a few on next
I
month.
was just gonna say maybe I'll throw some on next month. I'll do that. All right, so we've got a song by Little Sims, and I'm gonna leave,
I don't know how to
I'm
pronounce
gonna
that
leave this
either.
one to you, bro.
Obenyai, maybe? I don't know.
Hey, there you go.
So this album caught my eye because it's getting a lot of like, I don't know, I think like Pitchfork or somebody posted about it. It's getting like some critical acclaim. It's a little bit of an artsy rap album, not really my style, but I skimmed it and I heard this song and like the bounce and vibe to it was I was just feeling it. And I found myself coming back to it a few times. And because Big Brother is always watching, it kept now getting shuffled onto multiple recommendations on multiple websites. And she did a Tiny Desk, and her and the guy featured in this song, they performed this in it, and it's exactly like the recording. They're seamless.
Neat.
I've checked out the music video since. It's fucking great. I don't know. She's a fantastic rapper. Her style really isn't my thing most of the time, but I feel like on songs like this, it works. What did you think?
You know, I absolutely adored these instrumentals. I really loved the instrumentals. The vocals
Hmm.
and they just weren't my thing, man.
Okay, I could understand that. I mean, it's a completely different nationality. It's not a different language, but it's a completely different vibe of music. And like I hate dance hall, and it's very close to dance hall, but I do like, I'm a sucker for trade off, and the
Right.
way they trade off is just so well done.
Well,
So I
and
respect where you're coming from.
I mean, again, sonically, like the instrumentals are really neat, and it was difficult for me to
And
not
that's
like
all a
the.
band playing that
That's
too.
fucking awesome. I love that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. All right, something that I'm very excited for. Alt J and released their first single off their new album, You and Me. Um, New album called The Dream, out on 2/11/22. Happens to be my wedding anniversary, which is nice. They're
Fun day.
they're back, man. I'm a big Alt J fan. What did you think
Hmm.
about this song? I enjoyed it.
I did not.
Okay.
But so here's my thing. I see Alt J's name a lot, and I was like, I feel like I know an Alt J song, like an Alt J song. So after hearing this one, I was like, this one wasn't my thing. And I went back and I listened to like a lot of their most played, and I was like, I'm just not a big Alt J fan, I guess. Like I couldn't get into any of like their biggest hits, I guess. But if they have a new
Huh.
album coming out, I'm down to check it out because I feel like they could make some stuff I like. I just haven't really found it yet.
You know, it's I don't even know what it is that draws me to them. I think it's that kind of shoegazy kind of just individuality, like uniqueness that they kind of bring to the table. It's I don't know, man. I'm a fan of it. I've been listening to them since we first saw them in 2013, maybe 2015, one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
I mean, they're wildly successful. They're
They're doing
that
something right. So
I listened to An Awesome Wave, which seemed to be like their most popular album, and I couldn't like get into it, but this happens a lot. Like sometimes I need to revisit things in different mindsets or different times, and then it hits me in the right mood.
An Awesome Wave is a good album, but This Is All Yours and Relaxer, those are both really good albums as well, and they're different than An Awesome Wave. And An Awesome Wave kind of has this kind of edge to it, whereas the other ones are a little bit more mature. I recommend listening to the other ones if you have time. I know we listen to a lot of music, so
For sure. Well, I'll put them on my list and do next, and I'll get around to them. I do
yeah,
like the
man.
album art though. Tight
Yeah,
picture.
it's pretty neat, huh? Cool. I'm excited for it. All right, so we've got moving on. We've got Lucky Day, a song called Over. I thought this was a good
Yup.
track.
Yeah, he released an EP earlier this year that we covered, and it was kind of like just your run of the mill R&B EP. It was like a 5 or 6, maybe a 7 at best. It had a couple good songs, but nothing really memorable. This track is definitely stronger than anything on there. Um, he had an album come out in 2019 called Painted that was really good, and that's kind of the reason I've kept tabs on him. And hopefully this is like the beginning of an album because I like the sound he went with on this. It's very like classic, a little bit of that guitar in there, which I'm a big fan of in R&B.
Yeah, I thought it was good, man. I enjoyed it.
Samesies.
All right, now for a really neat song. Under Oath put out another single from their album Voyeurism called Pneumonia.
Hmm.
Um, okay, so is that Spencer singing at the beginning of this track in the first 3.5 minutes, or is that I think his
Um,
name's Aaron? I don't
I
know.
think that's Aaron Gillespie singing.
I think it's Aaron, and his voice is fucking insane. This song starts off really soft, and then absolutely fucking destroys your face at the back
Yeah.
end of it. And I am 1000% here for some proggy Under Oath, man.
Yeah, I think, and I don't think it's this month that we're covering it, but we'll be covering a new The Devil Wears Prada song next month.
Right.
And they're kind of, I view their careers are so different. Like Under Oath reached heights that were top 10 scene band album of all time. Just unquestioned legend, first ballot Hall of Fame if there's a sports analogy for what they did. But I feel like them and the Devil Wears Prada kind of ended up in the same spot in their career, where they were both these like metalcore bands with a lot of programming elements, and they kind of at their early spots, they I feel like a lot of people were drawn to it because of the chaos and the friction in the music. It was almost an immature approach to the music that made it good, which I talked last month or a month or two ago about how I feel like Under Oath's music got has gotten really good, but it's gotten a little less fun. And I think that what's the common thread is that these bands aren't really necessarily like going they seem to be trying to appease the fans of harder stuff by just getting heavier and more technical, not necessarily trying to go through the past motions. And while I'm a sucker for nostalgia, like I've grown to really appreciate what they're doing. And like you said, a 7 minute fucking prog metal under oath track is it's really like great to hear them be able to do this now because I don't think they were skilled enough to pull off a song like this on their first two albums, even though I prefer those two albums. So as much as I, much like Bring Me the Horizon and you, like want the old days back, I do like the band that they've grown into, and I'm very impressed by it.
So number one, sir, that was extremely astute. Uh, yeah, They're Only Chasing Safety is probably 2004's best album of that year. And I don't think I don't think anybody will. I don't think anybody who's a fan of Under Oath will ever not prefer that album over something else that they do. But you're right, they've matured, and I think that they're doing it very well. This song really surprised me. The first time I listened to it was with my wife, and we were doing something around the house, and I just had it on the speakers. It was up loud, and that softer kind of turned into not so soft, and then I stopped in my tracks. I got mad chills down my back, man. It really surprised me. So I'm very excited for Voyeurism at this point, and we're gonna see what
Does it have
happens.
a release date? Do you know?
I looked it up the other day. Let's while we're
It's
here.
got to be soon.
Yeah, I think it's this year.
Them and the
Um,
Devil Wears Prada would be a great tour, by the way.
Absolutely, it would. However, they just released the Devil Wears Prada just released their Z2, right?
Yes, earlier this year.
It looks like nope. Hold up, it's doing something.
They might have actually posted it on their Spotify here. Yeah, the album is called Voyeurist. I don't
Yep.
see a release date yet, though.
It pre-orders ship for their vinyls on or before 1/14/22, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that that's the release date, although it
That sounds
could
about
be
right.
earlier than that. So it's not this year.
That's not too far off. If it's not coming out by, I would say, mid-November, then it's probably not coming out this year. And 14th is a Friday, so that makes sense.
Yeah,
So yeah, well, at least we have something in January to look forward to.
I mean, I'm really looking forward to it. After this song, I'm hooked again. So we'll
Me
see.
too. This was a great song. I'm excited to see what they show us next.
Speaking of songs that give me mad chills, we've got Rufus Du Sol on my knees up next. Uh,
Yes, we do.
just a giant banger, just just a giant banger, man. I'm very excited for this album. This is going to be a great one, man.
Yeah, this might be my favorite of the singles released off the new album. I think they've announced the album's name is Surrender, but again, I don't think there's a release date set yet.
Yeah, I actually looked. I believe it was yesterday trying to figure it out, and I couldn't find a release date for it. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
great song. Very excited for the album. I honestly can't. Our, I feel like our electronic music album of the year conversation is almost its own podcast at this point because it's out of control
It's
this year.
really out of control, man.
Do you think this is
Oh.
a result of like all of these artists feeling like they potentially could have been missing out on so much money from the pandemic that they're all just all trying to come back to make some money now?
I mean, it could be a combination of things. I think we would know from artists like, say, Flight Facilities and Rufus if it was a money grab. I have a feeling that a lot of these things were being worked on. Were
What
being
about
worked on
Swedish
during.
House?
Uh, I don't know, man. It's tough. I think that they would be. I think that they. I mean, they could be broke. So I mean, you never know. You never know, right? They haven't done anything in like a decade, so
Very true.
you never know. But I think Rufus specifically puts they put a lot of passion and emotion into it, and if it even if it is for money only, I'm here for that because they're putting out some fantastic music. But I truly don't think so with Rufus, and I truly don't think so with like Flight Facilities because I think they just really care about it, and it's very possible. So when we talk about the pandemic, we talk about quarantining and isolation basically for 18 months, and I think it's 19, going on 19 months between March of 2020 and now. Um, in those 19 months, that's a lot of time to create music and kind
Yeah.
of creating a situation in which you're isolated from the world is almost ideal for some artists. And you'll get bands like Manchester Orchestra who like rented a cabin to like go quarantine together to write the album that they released, you know, and
Hmm.
shit like that I think is pretty cool. So it's a possibility, and I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of I actually think more so the rock bands that are releasing music now held off on releasing music during the pandemic because I think it's more difficult for rock bands to make money. Not only do they, you know, not have as many shows they can play based on, you know, like raves and festivals and stuff like that, but they also have to share that money with their bandmates. So
True. And it's a much harder style of music to write and record when you're not all in the same room much as much.
yeah, and there's and I don't want to say that electronic music is, you know, easy to write by any means because it's not just pushing buttons, but
No, but by its nature, you can email the files back and forth generally.
very true. Very true.
You can
Yeah.
do that with rock music now just as easy, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, but it's a little different because I think rock and I mean a lot of the analog instrumentalists kind of need to be in the same room in order to get the energy in which to create new.
Yeah.
Whereas the electronic music producers are probably better at doing it isolated and then getting feedback separately. So interesting take.
Yeah. And I guess before we move on, Rufus Du Sol will be taking Flight Facilities on tour pretty soon, which is going to be fucking amazing if for anybody that gets to go.
So have you seen Rufus live?
No.
Oh man, do it. Anybody who's listening to this, if you have the chance, you have the opportunity, you can make one of those shows. Fucking go. They're special live, man. They're special live.
I will definitely have them on my list. I'm looking forward to this album.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this album, and I'm looking forward to their tour after this because I'm not going to hit this one. Um, but I highly recommend anybody that wants to and has the ability to fucking go. They're very good live, at least when I saw them.
For sure.
Um, all right, moving on. We have a band that probably did withhold music for during the pandemic. Parquet Courts, Black Widow Spider. This is the second single off of. This is the second single we talked about. We're going to talk about in September. That they released off their upcoming album, which I will definitely listen to. And I'm not going to say I'm as excited for it as some of the other albums, but I'm very interested by this band. This single is a lot better than their last one, and I think the album's going to be good.
Yeah, I don't remember what I said about the last song, but I do really like this one. This one has a very unique quality to it. Um, it's it's very like down tempo, but I like it. It's unique, and like you said, I'm not looking forward to it quite as much as other things right now, but will give it a shot.
Yeah, you know, so they released an album. I think it was 2019. It was 2018 called Wide Awake. And on some of the forums I follow, and on Pitchfork, and on the Indie Head subreddit, people were just going fucking crazy about this album when it was released. And you know me, I'm not one for hype, so I typically would, you know, I kind of ignored it for a couple of days as it released, and the hype didn't really slow down. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let me take a look at it. And sometimes I'll really like music like that's getting really hyped up and really gassed up after the release. And I did like Wide Awake, the album, but I don't think it deserved the hype it got. So I'm very interested to hear a little bit more. I actually have I actually have their album Human Performance on my listen to next as we speak, because I don't think that I've heard it. But I think after Wide Awake came out and I listened to it and I did like it, I ended up clicking follow on them. And so I am excited for this album, just to kind of hear it. It's already sounding different than Wide Awake. So
For sure. Well, let me know how that other album is that you're gonna check out.
yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. All right, moving on. We have Giveon for tonight. Uh, Bro, this piano is fucking awesome, and his voice is killer.
Yeah, he's insane. Like the natural reverb to his voice is just inhuman. It's
Just
so
killer.
good. His work ethic is just fucking outstanding too. This guy really broke through last year. Like he didn't start releasing music till last year. I think in some interviews he was like homeless before this.
Jesus Christ,
He
man.
put out two EPs last year. He had a feature on Drake's album that really skyrocketed him to stardom. And this year, he's already released a compilation of the two EPs with a new song, and now this. And he had a feature on the Justin Bieber album on that song Peaches that's been on the radio all summer. And so he is fucking killing it. And I'm very happy for the dude because he's insanely talented.
Yeah, he's got a great voice, and I'm excited to hear more from him.
Yeah, and it's not just like traditional R&B. This is very like it's very just like grand almost. It's just really good music all around.
Yeah, it's really, really well done.
Exactly. High quality.
Yep. All right, so this next song kind of threw me for a loop here. I was about ready to start hating on these boys. We've got Joyner Lucas and J. Cole with a song called Your Heart. I had to look up the lyrics because at first I was like, all right, this is like aggressively vindictive, Joyner. What the fuck are you talking about, man? And the song kind of takes a turn with the lyrics at the end, and I I got to admit the Cole and Lucas, they're both really good at storytelling, and I'm glad that I didn't just like turn the song off halfway through.
Oh, Joyner being problematic. That's so shocking. Um he is oh God. I I made it through this song three times and I don't like it. I feel like they're talented. Their flows are okay. They're both capable of so much better. And while yes, lyrically, the narrative of the song kind of redeems itself, this is just beat to death. This whole topic, this I'm just kind of done with it. And like they're both two greats, and it's just I don't know, man. J. Cole, he has another feature that we'll be talking about next month, and he's just kind of on this run of just disappointment. And I know you've been revisiting his most recent album, The Off Season, as have I, and it's been opening itself up to us a little more than it had on our initial listens. But these there's a reason he kind of built his reputation on the like I don't need features and I don't need to do features thing. And I just kind of wish he'd go back to that. I've said in the past I'm not a big fan of For Your Eyes Only as an album, but like I would trade almost everything he's done since then for even one more thing like that. So,
Yeah,
um,
man, I dig that. Look, the song isn't original, but it did redeem itself. And I don't know, man. I think that these two have. I think you're right. I think they're both individually extremely talented, and I think that they both have the ability to both feature. I think if they did like a split album, like just these two, and they really wanted to get emotional, they really could, because they put out some. I mean, individual music that's
oh
like
yeah,
really deep, man. Like Joyner tackles some pretty hardcore stuff that's not gang life. And
yes.
and I mean it's like really emotional family level like
Oh, he's a
great
fantastic
stuff.
rapper. technique wise, he's like a top 10, top 15 guy, but in terms of like lyricism and consistency, he just isn't there yet. And I think he has the potential, but I don't know, man. This song just didn't do it for me. He has another song that I added to our playlist for next month or this current month that we're in. And I don't know, hopefully it seems like he has a new album coming out. Hopefully the album in whole is enjoyable.
We'll see. We'll see. Moving on, we have an
Alina
Alina
Baraz.
Baraz, Sunbeam. Is that yep? Sunbeam EP. Go ahead, take it away.
Yeah. So this she's like just a very solid R&B artist that I've been listening to for a few years. She's had a few collaborations with Khalid that I think are probably her most popular songs. This is like if this is like a full EP, then I guess this is her first release without a collaboration with him on it, which is probably good. Like as popularity is good to get the rub sometimes, like you do need to establish yourself as your own artist, and I think she's talented enough to do that. This is a I don't know, it's a fine selection of songs. I thought Alone with You was probably like the standout strongest one, but they're all good. They all have that like breezy R&B vibe, which I think is consistent through most of her music. What did you think?
I really liked the production on it. I think that her voice isn't as it doesn't stand out to me as much as some of the other R&B you've shown me, but I did recognize her like the name, her name, and I
Hmm.
couldn't quite place my finger on it. But now that you said she's done a bunch of stuff with Khalid, I'm pretty sure we've probably listened on the podcast something with her. So
Yeah, most likely.
I dig it. It was good. It wasn't anything that I'll probably revisit, but that's because I'm not I don't revisit much R&B. So
Yeah, fair enough. I probably won't revisit it either. So
hey, there you go. Moving on, we have another single from Disclosure, Observer Effect. Whoa, man, these synths are crazy.
yeah, I so to put this in context, this is for a DJ Kicks mix that they're releasing. I don't know what this DJ Kicks thing is by in terms of its name. Jada G's done one as well. It's coming out, I think, in a week or two. So it's just for a live mix that they did of some kind.
Interesting.
So that's probably why it kind of has like this almost like freestyle nature to it. But yeah, the synths are crazy. Overall, though, in terms of when I see, oh, Disclosure has a new song, it's like, are we getting like this type of disclosure or are we getting album disclosure? And I'm always a little bit disappointed when it's not album disclosure.
Well, I really like I really like their poppy stuff. Hold on one second, John. One. Yeah, so it's interesting. You know, I think that they reserve a lot of their poppy stuff for their albums. But I actually kind of really I dig this, and this is not their best work by any means, but I do enjoy this this song. I actually wrote down. It's funny you mentioned that it was for a live mix. I said, are they planning on doing like some boiler room sets or something?
Yeah, these like mix tracks have been more popular, popping up on streaming lately. It's kind of interesting.
It's it's a thing. It's only a matter of time before Spotify has some DJ sets.
Yeah, hey, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm definitely definitely not opposed to that. Next up, we have Tom Morello featuring "Bring Me the Horizon." Let's get the party started. Um, my man, surprisingly, Moreno and "Bring Me the Horizon" sounds like actually mix very well together.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me very much. He did that EP with Bloody Beetroots earlier
Oh,
this
that's right, he
year,
did,
and
huh?
he's been doing a lot of collaborative projects, and I think that he's good at them. I like the energy of this song, but the fucking chorus reminds me of like Buck Cherry or something, and I hate it. So as much as I want to like it, I'm gonna give it a thumbs down.
All right, that's cool. That's fair. We have a Brandon's face, basically like alumni at this point, man. He's part of the crew. Coda the Friend has put out another single called Needs.
Yep.
Uh, I mean, this has got to be an album rollout, right?
Yeah, he's released two more songs since then. So it's either an album rollout or he's just got a fuckload of singles, but it's all been really good lately. I'm looking forward to it. Almost
Yeah.
everything he puts out is great. So
I mean, I'm not a big fan of Coda as a feature, but fuck, am I a huge fan of him and his original music. I don't know what he does, but whatever he's doing, keep fucking doing it, man, to write all this music. It's a fantastic track. Classic Coda, the exact way I love him.
yeah, it's perfect.
Yep, very good. Next up, we have a song that I had added, Wax Motif featuring Kaylin Bear, called Thank You. Um,
Mhm.
this sounds like a summer boat party festival track, which it's pretty good, man. I thought it was real good. What did you think?
I think all everything I've heard from Wax Motif is really good. He's got a certain like crispness in his bass, and I always like the way his songs sound. Like they all have a certain bounce to them. I really liked it. Big
Uh,
fan.
I got to see Wax Motif in 2015 at Hard Summer, and it was a really neat show, man. And I like you. Whenever I go to a festival, obviously I peruse the lineup and figure out
Mhm.
who I like, and I'm pretty sure I prioritize this over like somebody that I had known for a long time to like go see his set, and it was a lot of fun, man. It's really good house music.
Fuck yeah. I would like to see him live one day for sure.
It was a cool thing. All right. Next up, we have "I Hate Models," which is a fantastic name, and "Werewolf Disco Club" is the song. It's 9 minutes and 24 seconds of techno, and subsequently pure energy. Did you listen to this whole song?
Yeah. Oh, I did. Yeah, this is what Rammstein would sound like if they did a DJ set, I would imagine.
1000%.
That's
I
that's really my only like takeaway. I liked it. It's very aggressive and you have to be in the mood for it. But
Oh, it's
it's
in your face.
yeah, it's definitely some fucking techno for you.
I'm pretty sure this was like 134 beats a minute or something like that. I didn't actually look at
It's
it, but
up
I'd
there.
be surprised if it was under that.
It's a
Um,
Boots and Cats song for
oh, for
sure.
sure. Man, I really dig it. I don't listen to this type of techno on the regular, but God, when I'm in the mood for something, I Hate Models just kind of scratches that itch. And I think it's funny. I think they sprouted up in Ibiza a while ago, and I think they named themselves "I Hate Models" for the amount of models that go and party in Ibiza just to fuck with them. But
That's fucking great.
yeah, so all right. Well, the next song was going to be a Kavinsky song called "Long Drive." Did you get to listen to this before they took it off of Spotify?
I did, and I think it was an accidental upload because
So
I don't think he would release this, right?
I got fucking stoked when I saw, oh, there's new Kavinsky.
Me too. Yep.
I saw it and I was like, no fucking way. I need to listen to it immediately. And this song wasn't bad, but apparently it wasn't Kavinsky.
Yeah, that's it. It's becoming a very common thing on Spotify. I see it at least once every 3 months with an artist I follow.
That's really weird, man.
It sucks, but it happens. Black
Um,
Lips. I don't know if those were Black Lips songs or what the deal with that was, but
yeah, man, like that's
things get pulled for a variety of reasons. I
it's
don't know
wild.
why.
It's wild. Well, you know what? I did like it, so but it wasn't anything near what Kavinsky normally does. So.
No, yeah. I think if he were to come back, it would be for a reason and the song would be worth coming back for.
Right. My heart like skipped a beat when I saw it on my notifications. I was like, I'm sorry, what? Like, excuse me? All right. Well, unfortunately, we did not get New Kavinsky, but we did get Zoe Wees. That's how it goes, featuring Black. I'm assuming that's how you say this guy's name. Six
He
lack.
says that you can say 6 lakh because the checks cash the same.
Fair.
Um, yeah, he's a he's a really good R&B dude. He's actually insanely popular. If you're not familiar with him,
I,
he's had a
I
couple
I
albums.
am familiar. I've heard a
Okay.
number of his music.
Yeah,
I just
he's
have
one of
never like
the
talked about it before because I don't know how to pronounce it. You know, so
yeah, it's
I'll
black. It's
all
just
right.
black. He is one of the most like sought after features in hip hop and R&B, and he can do a lot more than that. And I think this song shows that like this isn't really a traditional R&B song, and he always fits the pocket that he's given, very similar to Jid. Like they always know the assignment when they're given a feature on a certain type of song, and they do it well, and this is no exception.
Well, he really shined on this one. So
Yeah, he did. He killed it.
yeah, really shined. This was a neat track. I think Zoe's got an interesting voice. It was intriguing.
She
Um,
does.
yeah. All right, so we had RTJ4 Deluxe Edition songs on here. I think the only really new one was the Lil Wayne feature.
The remix of Ooh La La.
The remix, yeah, which I actually really liked Wayne's verse on, and I love the Royal Blood feature on the Ground Below. What did you think of these songs?
I did not like the I didn't like that remix. The Royal Blood thing is the remix is the only one of these I really liked enough to go back to at all. The No Save Point one was like a video game soundtrack song for what has become probably the biggest video game debacle of like the last 5 years. Are you familiar with Cyberpunk?
Yeah, I'm familiar with a lot of the drama surrounding Cyberpunk as
Oh
well.
man.
Like the everybody pre-ordered it and expected something finished, and then the release dates got pushed back, and then it was still garbage even after the release dates got pushed back like
It,
6 times.
yeah, there's gonna be documentaries about that game.
I haven't played
It's
it.
crazy.
I haven't
But
played it basically on
me
principle.
either. Yeah, no, it's broken at this. It'll take a few years for them to get that thing to a working place. But beyond that, yeah, I don't know. I really wasn't into that, like any of these that much. They were okay,
Interesting. Okay.
but I love the album still. Like the album's
Oh yeah, it's
fantastic, but I
fucking
don't think
great.
any of these like remixes or the new song necessarily were like gonna enhance this era of them to me at all.
Super fair. All right, moving on. We had Ari Lennox with
Yes.
Pressure.
Yeah, she is like the fucking queen of neo soul R&B, and this is another track exactly with the same type of sound she usually goes. She's on J. Cole's Dreamville label, so you've probably seen her name on like the Dreamville compilation album. She's on a few songs on there.
Nice.
She's very solid. This is a good song. She goes for a very like jazzy sound with her R&B, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, this was really good.
Yeah,
I
very solid
I
track.
enjoyed
I
it.
don't know if she's doing another album, but I enjoyed this song a lot.
Cool. Alrighty, we have Eats Everything with a. It's called an EP, but there's 2 songs. It's not an EP, bro. It's a
That's not an
single.
EP.
It's a single, bro.
Yep, that's a
Um,
single, bro.
this dude just slays everything he touches.
These were maybe a little too frenetic for me.
Okay.
Like I do like some Eats Everything. I can't think of like specific songs or remixes right now, but I don't know. I If it's an EP, then that probably means there's an album coming. But yeah, these ones were a little frenetic for me. I'll have to revisit them a little later, but hopefully we get like an album so we have a little more context.
Yeah. I enjoyed him. I think he's very good at what he does.
Yeah, oh, definitely very talented.
Oh yeah. All right. So as I lay dying, roots below. Tim Lambesis. His voice sounds very good for an attempted murderer.
Yeah, I
Um,
was gonna ask, is this still the dude that tried to kill his
oh,
wife?
1,000%. But he did go to jail, and he did go to prison, and he is claiming to be fully reformed and not that guy anymore.
Vic did his time.
He Look, man, I'm for the sake of this song and maybe even this album, I might just separate art from artist because this is a fantastic song, man.
Yeah, it's a really good song. It's a great song. And honestly, it's about time somebody in a metal band actually lives the shit that they're fucking singing about. So
I mean, Dark Throne has entered the chat, sir.
Cannibal Corpse as well.
Yeah, well, those guys are actually really friendly. Although Pat O'Brien, he did just break into somebody's house. So
yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, no, the members
friendly though. He was very nice about it.
I'm pretty sure it was a member of Dark Throne. He got charged and convicted with 14 different church burnings. So I think they take the cake for living what they sing about.
Okay, I'll concede that.
No, but man, the breakdown in this song is absolutely insane.
Yeah. Oh, this is a ferocious song. It's great. It's heavy. It's fucking awesome. I still remember seeing them at like Warped Tour. I don't even know 2005, and then like closing with 94 Hours. So good. I love them as a band. They're great.
Yeah. Shadows Are Security will always hold a very special place in my heart.
Interesting. I haven't gone back to that album as much lately. I feel like, yeah, I don't know. Like I tend to go back like that. That's the classic. That's probably the much more popular one. But like Frail Words Collapse was like the one I went through like high school listening to. So that's the one like I always think of when I think of them. Forever in 94 Hours especially.
I mean, for sure nobody's gonna ever tell you anything differently because those songs are fantastic. I mean, Collision is a great song.
Yeah,
I
awesome
mean
song.
But I think musically, Through Struggle, Morning Waits, Reflection, Repeating Yesterday, I think Shadows Are Security is just it's got fucking everything, man. It's a really good album. I really enjoy that one.
It's like Haste the Day. Like I like their first album more, and the second album has way more of like I feel like the anthemic hits that everyone loves. But it's a time association thing for me, I think.
Super fair. Well, when everything falls, we'll go and turn to Every Time I Die with a few different singles that you've added on here.
Yeppers.
We've got, what did we say about Yeppers?
Yes.
Yeah, man. Every Time I Die, dude, I saw them open for Taking Back Sunday. What a show. Really
They're fucking awesome, dude.
really, really neat stuff. It was actually kind of weird because, well, Taking Back Sunday is not anything like really near Every Time I Die when it comes to aggression. No,
not at all.
It was pretty cool, man. It was at one of my favorite venues in San Diego, the North Park Observatory, and wow, what a show. It was weird.
Every Time I Die play Board Stiff?
They did.
Good times.
Oh man, such a good band, dude. Really good shit. Well, yeah. As for these singles, there's something about the vocals and from this band. I don't know what his name is. Maybe I should. Keith Buckley. That just make their music heavier. Like they're playing this music that. It's fast and it's thrashy, but it's not heavy until the vocals just fucking like just crush you into the ground, man. Yeah.
It's like a bluesy thrash metal. It's like a southern thrash metal.
It's very so interesting. Fucking good.
Planet Shit, by far my favorite of the new songs so
just
far.
Incredible. Postmortem.
Yeah.
Postmortem reminds me of Rush. How did they
funny?
like
we were talking about Devil Wears Prada and Under Oath like changing so much. These are songs that they would have released in 2006.
Yeah, they
Like
haven't
these,
changed at all.
they are still so fucking angry, dude, and it's so great.
Oh,
Like,
I'm here for it, man.
and just the way, like you're right, it's like the way he screams things, the way he screams the fucking "whose fucking side are you on" part is so
Right.
good, dude. It's great. I can't wait for that album. It comes out October 22nd, so we'll be reviewing that one this month.
Oh, beautiful. That's awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, when I saw them open for Taking Back Sunday, it's really fun to watch people who were there for Taking Back Sunday get get to see Every Time I Die and like clearly
Yeah.
not know who they were. It was a good time, man.
They're so good.
Oh
I'm
man, they're
I'm
great.
stoked for that.
Moving on to nothing as aggressive as that. Mayday Parade, one for the rocks and one for the scary. Are you still a fan of these guys?
No, I'm not. It's not that I don't think that they make good music, but no, I'm not. I'm not like, what's Mayday Parade gonna do next? So I think we talked about their last single, and I said that like I'm not necessarily a fan, but like the fact that they're still making this exact same style of music, as if, all right, guys, we're gonna post this song on our MySpace Saturday, and we're gonna blow
Right.
up overnight. Like I respect it, and their album, What It Means to Fall Apart, drops on November 19th, and I think we should definitely review it just out of love for the emo era.
Yeah, I look, man. I actually did. I really dig this song. They're great
It is good.
musicians. They're
Yeah, yeah.
they're
The
really
song
good
is good.
musicians. And they do one thing and they do one thing very, very well. So yeah, I think we definitely should review the album, and I'm looking forward to hearing it. It's probably going to be an album that I don't return to for forever and ever and ever. You know, like I'm I listen to A Lesson in Romantics once a year. I doubt that this new album is going to be that, but I think we're going to enjoy it. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to find my carabiner before then, but I'm looking forward to it.
so up next we have Idols, which is
Yes.
I've been trying to challenge you a little bit with that with Idols, and I'm curious what you think of this song because it's a little different from what they've done in the past.
I like this song a lot. This one is really good. I th- it's so slow. It's a very, I don't know really how to describe the genre of the song, but I like it, and I think that this is like the right tempo and type of song for me to like bridge into them, because it does, it's not King Cruelish at all, but it does like have that, you need to be open, and it's a very different style of rock than most people are used to. What I find interesting about this song and this album is that it's co-produced by Kenny Beats, who just did the Vince Staples album.
I was gonna surprise you with that.
Hey, I dig too.
Hey, that's good. That's good.
But yeah, geez, November 12th is shaping up to be a huge album release day. We have
Right?
Idols, Flight Facilities, Silk Sonic, the Bruno Mars and Anderson Paak album just got
Jeez.
announced tonight, is dropping that day. It's gonna
Jeez.
be fucking stacked. And yeah, but back to this song. I'm a big fan of it, and if this is the tone of the album, I think that I'll be a fan of it and I'll really enjoy it.
Well, I think I would classify it as kind of a soul song,
Sure.
even though it's not maybe traditional soul. It is. I fucking loved this song, and I'm really excited for the album. I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I guess the song is named after an old venue in Ohio or something like that.
Correct. They have not extrapolated on that as far as as far as I can see. I'm not really
Interesting.
connected to the socials, but somebody somewhere would have told me on the
Oh
internet.
yeah.
So
The super fans.
yeah, I mean,
Plus 10 power sword.
I'm kind of a huge fan of theirs. So we'll
Yep.
see what happens. Next up, we have real proof that emo is not dead. We have Mom Jeans with "What's Up."
Yeah. The song fucks. I like it.
like
It's
like
good.
it's so good, man. I love it.
It's good pop punk, man. It's good emo. It's good shit, man. I enjoy it. I've heard of them a few times, but I'd never heard them, and
I love
I
this
I
band.
like it. I dig it.
They're a lot of fun. New album announced called Sweet Tooth, February 25 next year. So we'll see what happens.
Let's review it.
Yeah, man, we definitely will. Emo definitely is not dead. Um, so next up, we have Luke Wilde and Deb Never with Pie. My man, this
Yes.
is exactly up my alley. Like, this is so good. That bass line is just incredible. Deb Never is going to be a staple in my life, I think.
Yeah, she's fucking fantastic. I'll have to send you this video she did. Like, it's not in front of a crowd per se, but she did like this live appearance thing for like a fashion thing, and it's so good, man. But anyway, back to the point. So the reason this sounds so much like everything on her EP is this guy produced two of the songs on the EP. I
I
think that they
see.
wrote and recorded this song sometime late last year in London or something, and they released like a music video for it. I think this was a song that didn't make her album that they just wanted to release, and I don't know. I feel like they could have tacked it on her album, but that album was great. So I'm not going to second guess any decisions on it now. But this is another great song. She's very hard to pin down in terms of like what she brings to music that makes it so compelling, but I fucking love it.
I think one thing is that on every song that I've heard from her, she kind of refuses to pick a genre. She's just like, "What's a lane? I'm
It's
gonna be all over
that,
this road."
but there's also consistency to it, which is weird.
Yeah, yeah, I see that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, big Deb Never fans on this podcast.
Yeah, big Deb Never fans apparently. So next up we have Kali Uchis. Is that how you say that? Uchis, Kali
Uchis.
Uchis,
Yeah, you might be right. I don't know.
something like that.
Fue mejor.
Fue mejor.
Future.
Um,
So, yeah, I added this one. This was a song off her. She released a Spanish album last year, and it still had a lot of R&B influences you could hear in the instrumental. She released a music video and a new version of it featuring SZA, who very impressed at how well she can sing in Spanish. Wasn't
this is really
anticipating
good.
that.
Yeah, this is really
Yeah,
good. I enjoyed it.
she's fucking fantastic. She's as good at Spanish as she is at English. There's the Marias who we'll be covering shortly. I hear a lot of like her influence in their music too, or a lot of similarities, I should say, more than influence. And I fucking love it. I'm very excited to see her on tour with Tyler the Creator next
Oh,
year.
that's right.
Yes. And she, if you don't remember, also does like the chorus to See You Again and
Yep.
songs like that. So yeah,
Fun.
she's great. The song is awesome. The way she's fusing Spanish and R&B, killer. Love it.
Yeah, I thought that this song was really good. So cool.
Yeah, terrific.
Speaking of another song I thought was really good, "Forever" by a Flight Facilities and Broods.
Yes,
Uh,
your optimism paid off.
yeah, man. I was when I saw that they were opening for Rufus, I was like, they're not going to tour without an album.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you can't just keep playing the same thing. But where I got a little nervous was because they did that Never Forever thing earlier this year, and it was like 2 hours of unreleased music or whatever. But I guess those are probably just mostly songs that didn't make the upcoming album. Every single they've released has been fantastic and very different. Lights Up with Channel Tress was the perfect first single. It really had that the kind of the modern disco thing, but fused with their unique spin on just dance music in general. Ghost is very interesting and different. I think that's kind of going to be a grower. I don't think that's like an immediate hit, but I think it's a very good song. And then they released Move last month, which was another just kind of instant infectious banger. And I was wondering, all right, are we going to get to more album cuts? But nope, another just fucking song that could anchor an album. Like this shit is so good, and it is
It's
actually
very
the
good.
title track for the album.
Nice.
They announced it'll be called Forever. Did you see the album art for it? I think I might have texted you it, but I'm not
Yes.
sure.
Yes, I did.
So I think that explains all of the other album art because it's like a crashed plane on an island, and I think all of the album arts we're seeing is out of different windows of the plane. That's kind of my theory on
That's
all of it.
that's really fucking cool. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, cool concept. I'm fucking down for it. We've been waiting for this for, I
Years.
mean, years, but specifically since this podcast started and they've kind of started resurfacing. So that's going to be fun to finally get to absorb.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be good, and yeah, I'm excited. So we'll see.
Me too.
We will see. All right. So next up, we have a song off of the Bad Boys 2 soundtrack called "Poke It Out" by Wale, J. Cole,
Off
Cool,
of
and
the Bad
Dre.
Boys 2 soundtrack?
I got mad early 2000s vibe
I
from this
love that.
song.
I love that. That's great. Um, but yeah, yeah, totally. Did you were you at the Coachella that Wale opened the main stage of?
If
The
I
Jay-Z headlined
was,
one?
no, no,
2009?
I tried to sneak in that year. It didn't quite happen. Well, it
Didn't
didn't
ha
happen on that day. I'm pretty.
Back when fence jumping was possible.
Yeah, man, everybody just got in by just walking around the horse stables back then. Now,
Yep.
2010, we hopped the wall, but
Jump over the lockers. There was all sorts of ways back in.
oh yeah.
Yeah, and all honestly, the security were so tired. They just didn't give a shit by a certain point.
Except for the one time we snuck into the literal VIP area and we jumped over the fence and there's like 8 security guards and they're like, "Bro, what are you guys doing?"
Yeah, your numbers weren't good there.
Yeah, we got escorted out. So
But yeah, this is, I'm not, again, I think J. Cole's a little corny. The song, She Got a Little Butt, So What? Like, it's kind of a stupid lyric, but there's so much corny rap. It could be a lot worse. I'm not going to hate on it too much. It is what it is. I think Wale has a new album coming out. Don't know if we'll be reviewing it, but I'll skim it for some good songs.
yeah, for sure, do that. I've never gotten into Wale, but every song that I've heard from him, I think I've enjoyed, and I think that's probably because I haven't looked into all of his music. But yeah, I think J. Cole was a little corny, but I got mad like 2004, 2005 vibes from this. So
Definitely. Same.
next up, we have a certified banger, Rez featuring fucking Sid.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
how I
is
think
that,
you
is
say
that
it as
fucking Sid?
well.
Dude, these vocals juxtaposed with Rez's instrumentals are just fucking awesome, man.
Yep. She announced her new album Spiral, which doesn't have a release date, but I think is coming probably in the next month or two.
Wow,
And
man.
everything she's released this year has been phenomenal. She started off with Sacrificial featuring Lynn from Paris. She released Hypnocurrency, her first collaboration with Deadmau5. Taste of You featuring Dove Cameron, which is great. She did Chemical Bond last month, which is just a straight dubstep heavy banger. I don't even know if I'd call it dubstep. She kind of just has like this dark ambience to her music. And then this, which is like another, I don't know, the way she's like transcending. It's not pop music, but all of these songs can get radio play. Almost every vocal song she does is ready for the radio in some way because the sound is in right now. And I think she's going to be a fucking force, not just in electronic music, but like the general landscape of music for the next 10 years or so at least.
Yeah, man. I'm going to go ahead and agree with you.
Yeah, she's got the whole package right now, and I think we just need to enjoy what she's doing.
Yes, I didn't know that she had announced an album, but I'm very excited. That's
She's very
awesome.
consistent. I'd say about one a year, one EP at least a year.
Well, there you go. Moving on to a song that I was unsure of for a little bit, Mastodon Tear Drinker. This is less heavy than I like my Mastodon to be. I can't help but appreciate the vocal range on this song. It's a decent song. it is kind of threw me for a little loop, but we'll see what happens with the rest of the album.
Yeah, Hushed and Grim comes out October 29th. I
Jesus
liked the
Christ,
song.
man.
I thought it was good. I thought, especially when it gets into like the heavier instrumental part in the back half of the
Yeah.
song is when it really shines. Yeah, it's not as heavy as I like either, but moments like that really help. Overall, good song. Looking forward to the album, but with tempered expectations.
Yep. There you go. Um, all right, we have another Coda the Friend, Wasteland. This guy just fucking speaks to me, man. I feel like sometimes when he's rapping, he's like talking like directly to me.
Hmm.
Like fuck, dude.
I feel like like we know him. He's our friend. That's how much
Right,
we've listened
exactly.
to him. We sit on the porch with this guy almost every night and just listen to
Right.
him talk about
Obligatory,
shit.
obligatory. That sax though.
Oh my
Uh,
God. I realized I think I've probably brought up Nujabes on this podcast like 20 times. Do you know who Nujabes is?
oh yeah, man.
Okay, okay. So
Jazz rap.
I yeah, he invented lo-fi hip hop for better or
Yes.
less. Tragically passed away in a car crash, I think around 2005 or 6, was
Yep.
one of the greatest just jazz sample producers that there was. The way he chopped up samples into these like hip hop beats and the way he found vocalists that really shared the same vision he had for songs was so unique, and his music is fucking timeless, and his vinyls go for tons, and rightfully so. But I think every time I hear Coda, especially on songs like this, like I just fucking wish they could have worked together one time. Like I wish that
Right.
their stars aligned in the same era because they were meant to work together. Like Coda is, I've never heard him mention Nujabes, but I would be shocked if he did not say he was a major influence on his music.
Yeah, I would have to agree, and rest in beats.
Yeah. Oh man. Love that guy. We're gonna have to talk more about him in the future.
All right, I like that. Moving on, we have a Tone Stith featuring Maeta, Meta,
Maida? I think
Meta.
it's Maida.
Sure,
Yeah.
something in the water.
Yep. It
Uh,
go for it.
I thought that both of these people have beautiful voices. This is a bop.
Yeah, it's a really good, if not kind of standard R&B duet. But they're both talented enough to make the song interesting.
Right.
His voice is fantastic. I found him earlier this year on a recommendation from a friend. He released an EP we covered called Fuck With Me, and he's releasing a follow-up EP called Still Fuck With Me. Kind of a stupid naming concept. I don't really think it's that great or original. I think the album art's kind of dumb. But again, very talented dude, and he released a single last night that we'll be covering on our next podcast that I think is even better than this. And I think he's very talented, but he's very early in his career, so he can't afford the top producers yet, and he's still shining as much as he is. So I think we're seeing him grow, and I think he's going to grow into something even better than what we're hearing right now.
Yeah, we'll see. I really enjoyed this, and I think he has a great voice. Um, Speaking of artists
Great
that are
voices.
not in the early part of their career, we have a song called "Dad Vibes" by Mr. Fred Durst, Limp Bizkit.
Yeah.
My man, you threw this song on here. This song is unironically fantastic, John.
Okay, so I was hoping this would stir this conversation. So, did you get a chance to watch the Woodstock 99 documentary by
I have
chance?
not. I have not.
Okay, well, it's very disturbing, but they're not in it, but they are the subject of a lot of blame for that festival in terms of like pushing the crowd to get even rowdier, especially opening with break stuff and being just classic Limp Bizkit. They faded away into obscurity shortly after that, and like what, by 2004 they were kind of irrelevant, and new metal had died. They after that documentary, like I think Fred Durst posted a picture on social media with this like weird fucking look, and he's like, I don't know if you've seen what he looks like now, but he literally looks like a dad. He wears like big like khaki pants. He wears weird jackets in his hair. He doesn't wear the hat anymore. It's like a weird hairstyle, and he wears these like big dad aviators from like the 70s. They performed at Lollapalooza. It was like all old stuff, and like crowd wasn't that into it. Like modern rock crowds just aren't that crazy, especially at hip hop festivals. And they ended their set by like saying they had a new song called Dad Vibes coming out, and they didn't perform it. They just like threw out t-shirts while it played, and I
Oh,
couldn't really hear it. And then I saw it pop up, so I was like, we got to do it. Yeah, I hate to admit that it's good, but it is.
it's
I
unironically really good, man.
only he would still be using the word fag in a song, even though he's talking about a cigarette. But like it,
Yeah.
like, good God, they are still Limp Bizkit. It's still the same like repetitive, riffy, weird rap, new metal shit that it's always been. It's just in 2021.
If you're good at something, don't do it for free. It's probably something that somebody important to his life told Fred Durst at one point in his life.
Yeah, and that's why Creed went away. They weren't good at anything.
Oh man. All right. Well, enough about dad vibes. Let's talk about Sacrifice, a song by The Devil Wears Prada. Um, my man, we're just getting some great metal. We're getting some great emo. We're getting some great, just some great nostalgic bands coming back with some fucking slappers.
Yeah, fucking heavy, man. This shit is heavy. I pretty much said everything I have to say about it in my Under Oath review. I don't know if they have a new album coming out, probably because they're somewhat of a high output band the last few years.
Yeah.
But it's good. It's good. They've grown into a really good metal band, and I'm gonna support them. I hope that they can bring back some of the I want some HTML rules, dude. Give me a little bit, please. Come on.
Nobody's
Hey
making
John, what's
MySpace
your name
profiles
again?
anymore.
Nobody's making assistant to the regional manager song titles anymore.
Oh man, yeah. My notes say Z2 wasn't enough. They're not done. Fucking awesome.
They aren't done. They're fucking unpredictable too, covering Julian Baker, releasing Zombie 2, now this. We'll see where it goes.
I'm about it. All right. Next up, we have a song by a Mr. Maceo Plex
Yes, bro.
called "You Know What I Got." I threw the extended version on here because we're adults, and
Hmm.
so Maceo Plex is a very specific way of creating music that's kind of like smack dab in the middle of house and techno. It's kind of got that groove of house, but it's got that like percussion and kick of techno. I find it fascinating how he kind of toes that line so well.
I agree. And he's got a really good ability of placing samples and sourcing samples that really fit his style. And this is like, I mean, I overuse the word timeless, but the sample he picks here is timeless. Like, I don't know what it is, but it's a very famous sample, I feel like.
Yeah,
This is a instant like just classic live track. This is if you're at like a show of techno and house purists, like this would fit right in with any set you'd hear that night and keep the crowd moving. It's
right.
good. I love Maceo Plex. I hope we get more from them soon. Great song. I'm not familiar with Liberty City, but
Me neither. You
great
click
song.
you click on their Spotify and they've got just like three songs like total.
Yep,
So
I'm just seeing that. So
we'll see.
I guess yeah, we'll see if they're an industry plant.
Big fan of Maceo Plex. I saw him at Coachella. Fucking fantastic set. I was very very impressed.
Always good.
All right, moving on. We have Matt Lange. I actually threw a remix of this song as well.
I like that you
Um,
threw both on.
yeah, I kind of wanted to because I had forgotten that Gareth Emery existed, and B, I kind of just wanted to compare a song and a remix. So his vocals are just fucking haunting, man, and they work very well with his music. If you haven't seen him produce or talk about production, I'm gonna try to find a video and throw it into the show notes because he has a very interesting way of production. There was an episode of something that he was on. I think he ran a podcast for a minute, and he was on there talking about how he would record guitar and then run it through a filter and then reverse it and then throw that into his song and then elongate it. And like it was just, it was really neat, man, the way he was describing it and showing how to do it on Ableton. It was pretty neat. This song's a fucking banger, as is tradition. I basically don't dislike any Matt Lange songs. So
Yeah, the original's great, but I keep going back to the remix. I feel like Gareth had a lot. He had a great song to work with in terms of remixing it, but like the things he chooses to emphasize are so smart. Like
yep.
the guitar part that's the main part of the remix is not that big of a part of the actual song. And it's interesting that he heard that as like this is the driving force. He's just yeah, where did he go? I mean, I
Right?
guess
Like I forgot he existed for
it
like
was kind
easy a
of like
year,
the
man.
Armin Dash Berlin era, and just that trance house went away. But like Gareth Emery on the key, he's probably the best piano player in dance music. Um, the songs he's done with his sister singing are fucking beautiful. I miss him. I hope he comes back to making music regularly.
Yeah, I
And yeah,
agree.
Matt Lane, perfect collaboration. I think they should maybe do an original together, like from the beginning, because I think that their minds together could come up with something great.
Yeah, real dark, real light, kind of polarity there.
Yeah, that.
Um,
Ooh, tease for later.
all right, now moving on, we have a fucking banger in Pondicherry. I don't know how you pronounce the song name, but it's DJ
You
Snake and
hit it.
Mala, and whoa, man, I loved it.
I didn't like this one. I
Really,
couldn't get. Yeah, it was annoying to me.
look, man, nothing nothing will nothing will I can't ever listen to DJ Snake without remembering that he legitimately dropped just the full version of Wonderwall at the time I saw him. And there's no remix or anything. He just decided in the middle of his set, I'm just gonna play like the full 3 minutes and 48 seconds of Wonderwall. So
Fair. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, he's a giant artist. He has multiple songs with over 1 billion plays. I don't know. This one just didn't do it for me. And I
I
like
liked it.
Mala a lot, but yeah, it didn't do it for me.
Well, okay. Well, all right. So
But these next ones did.
yeah, man. Rinzen with
Andy
Photon
Namor.
and Enamor. Photon and Miracle of the Sun. So this is just textbook tech house, but
Can we get a full album of this?
right. Rinzen does some really cool stuff at the end of Miracle of the Sun. I mean, I like Rinzen, and I've been following him for. He released a couple of things on Mousetrap, I think, in 2019, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
I think yeah, he's done a mostly Mousetrap releases.
And yeah, I'm a large fan of this kind of stuff.
Yeah, Photon's fucking great. It never goes where you think it's going. It stays interesting. It's so well done. Miracle of the Sun, the fucking drums on Miracle of the Sun. There's so many percussive elements happening
So cool.
that keep the song just hurtling towards like forward and barreling. It's fucking great. Like for a 7 minute song, the way that it moves is so impressive. I love it. I would easily listen to a full album by both of these guys.
Yes, I would very much like that. I'm not sure. I don't think that he has ever released a full album. He I don't think he has.
That is a thing with a lot of producers, man.
I mean, a couple EPs here and there, but
Yep.
I'd really love like a full album.
Oh, and Rinzen did 90s Child
Yep,
on the Mousetrap compilation, which was my
yep,
favorite song on there. So that makes a lot of sense.
yep. I was introduced to. I think I was introduced to Rinzin by I used to follow a bunch of like techno live set Facebook pages
Yep.
back when I was on the socials, and they basically it just had somebody at Printworks in London every weekend just taking videos from the back of the club. And I don't know if you know what Printworks looks like from the inside. I've never seen it in person, but I've seen videos, and it's like this giant industrial hall that's just like the ideal setting for techno. And I remember seeing this video, and now I need to try to find it to throw it in the show notes. But the Rinzen set, I mean, there was just a quick little minute and a half snippet, and I was like, I need to know who that is. So,
Yeah, that he's so fucking good. I would kill to see that fool live.
yes.
Clearly very talented.
Yeah, man. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up the singles with this last one. We've got Party with Ray and Zoo with Lil Mama. This is not the worst Zoo I've ever heard. It is also definitely nowhere near his best.
No, I mean it's a collaborative track. He's not even the top billing on it. It's a fun little track.
It's
I think
decent.
it's just fun. You know, it's not great. It's just a little single release that's probably more for like club use or for like Hudson Gotham type shows than anything. But
Oh,
yeah,
nostalgia.
it's not horrible. Grinding our teeth.
All right. So, wow, that wraps up the singles. We had quite a few singles this month, a lot of which are going to turn into albums, which I think we're all really excited for. And so let's move on to the albums for.
Do you want to tell the backpack on the dance floor story really quick?
I don't think I want to. I don't think I want to tell that on the air, my man. Oh man, message us and we'll tell you privately. Alrighty, let's move on to the albums. I think first up we have the Marias, which I
Yes.
even texted you about because I was not really sure what to expect. I had never heard of them. I had never really dived into it, and when I finally did dive into cinema, man, this is special. I'm a big fan of strings, and geez, man, the album opener, "Just a Feeling," is fucking great. Um, Getting like major Billie Eilish crossed with Nile Rodgers off of "Calling You Back."
Mm-hmm.
All I really want is you just kind of drives home that bass, and I mean it's this whole album is really special, man. I really really enjoyed it. I think I think I'm gonna pay attention to the Marias. I
Yeah.
wasn't expecting to love this as much as I did.
I agree. This you text me because I think you were listening to it, and I'm guessing by like halfway through you were like, "Oh, this is for sure like a vinyl type of album." And
Right?
when you looked it up, you were like, "Oh, apparently I'm not the only person that thought this."
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. It's we've been my wife and I have been trying to hunt it down as well. It's a great fucking album. It's a no skips front to back. I won't bury the lead here. This is a 10 out of 10 for me. I can't pick a thing wrong with it. I do want to say for our show notes, so this song got them in general got pushed onto like my YouTube algorithm, and they have a video that's not necessarily from anything, but it's an all I really want is you live performance, and they like add way more rock elements to it, like a lot of really cool drums and guitar. And I was listening to it and I was blown away by it, and I was like, I have a feeling that the actual song doesn't have this many elements to it. So I went and listened and it didn't, but I was like, damn, this is still really good. And I was like, this isn't even the most played song on the album. So I listened to Hush and I was like, oh my God, like I was getting, like you said, like Billie Eilish, maybe a little bit of churches in there.
Yep.
Like, even like I said earlier, Kali Uchis with a lot of this album has, I would say, like five or six Spanish songs or songs where she weaves in and out of Spanish. The tone of her voice is never off pitch. It's always perfect. The music complements it so well. Um, I I don't know, man. There's really not a miss. I feel like the the second half is a little bit more album cut heavy, but like I would say Calling You Back, Hush, Just a Feeling, All I Really Want Is You, Little by Little, like those first 6 songs on the album are as good as any other 6 song run on a pop album I've heard in the last 10 years. Is this a pop album? I don't
For
even
sure,
know.
I don't know where to put this. I rated it a 9 out of 10. I think my standout was Calling You Back. I was extremely surprised with how much I loved this, and I will be continuing to look out for the Marias and their music. This was great. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for
this
adding
was
this, man.
fantastic. Really good album art too. Love it.
Alrighty. Moving on, we have Lil Nas X with Montero.
Mhm.
Highly anticipated album,
Yeah,
Montero. Um, my man, why do you have to steal Nas's name?
I don't know. I
I
don't.
just don't get
So,
it, man.
so I think it had to do with something. His name originates from like a fucking Nicki Minaj like fan chat or some shit
Oh
that he
my
used to run
god.
prior to this. And I think her name is like Hassan, or I don't even fucking remember. I'm gonna get dragged through the internet for not knowing her real name, but it had to do with something like that. But I do agree. Like it's kind of a weird thing, but I've got past that a long. Like this dude has the most successful single of all time in terms of Billboard charting history with
Yeah, I think he beat Michael
Old
Jackson, didn't
Town
he?
Road. Yes, yeah, he that had the
I think he
most
beat the
amount of.
Beatles too.
He beat everyone with in terms of the amount of weeks at number one of
It's
being a
fucking
song.
crazy. It's fucking crazy.
And yeah, and I think a lot of it, he's talented and deserved it, but a lot of it came from reactionary tactics. Like when that song was charting as a country song, and the country community said, we don't want this song to be considered country. And then Billy Ray Cyrus did a remix of it so that they couldn't fight that anymore. And then it becomes the biggest song across almost all genres. It's have you
It's
seen Squid
genius, is
Game
what it
yet?
is.
Have you seen Squid Game yet
I
on
have not. I
Netflix?
have not
Okay,
yet. It's
so
on the list.
that's kind of become like what Old Town Road is. It just becomes so big across all these different genres or countries that it becomes monoculture. Like I
Yep.
feel like almost everyone knows who Little Nas X is now, even if you don't even know his music. He's such a polarizing type of person. But I feel like the grandeur and the spectacle of everything and his artistic vision puts very high expectations on his albums. And he's released an EP, but this is really his first full length album. And I feel like it's good. I feel like I like it more than I don't, but I don't feel like it quite lived up to expectations. I feel like for the first 3 songs, it's one of the best pop albums I've ever heard. It really starts off on a high note. Montero, great single, great, maybe the song of the summer. It did very well on the radio. Dead Right Now impressed the fuck out of me in terms of like, oh, this guy can rap. Like, we're getting it twisted that he's this pop star that wants to sing and do all this gimmicky stuff, but like he can rap when he wants. And Industry Baby, which the horns, which are kind of consistent throughout the album on the song with Megan Thee Stallion, they're there
Hmm.
as well, and they really keep the pop feel. I was really surprised with the pop rock elements of this album, like the almost Willow Smith type
Yeah.
songs. Those ones took me for a loop. What did you think of them?
So, all right, look, expectations are a weird thing, man.
Yeah.
I had none. Obviously, I had heard Old Town Road and anything that I had heard, like, out and about from Lil Nas X, but I, 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 I had never clicked on his Spotify profile before this. Um, and this album fucking surprised me, bro. Uh, I thought that he was kind of a rapper that did some country song to get some hits, and it worked, and it became pop culture, like the song like embodied pop culture for like fucking months, right?
Hmm.
Um, and so yeah, man, when I went
It
into
was the
this album,
Macarena of our time.
oh fuck, stop it. All right,
Sorry,
so
continue.
no, I mean you threw me off. I got a Macarena it out. All right, so you're right. Montero is a great song, and I had heard it. I recognized it as soon as it came on. Dead Right Now's beat is fucking crazy. Industry Baby, I like Jack Harlow, and I enjoyed that song. Rap is weird. It's one of the only style of music where it's not only socially acceptable to brag about how many Grammys you have, but it's almost like expected.
Hmm.
Um, Look, I do like Jack Harlow's verse in that though. That's
Okay.
what I want. Kind of really showcases his indifference to genres. After I heard that song, I got to thinking like I was expecting a rap album, and I got something that is not a rap album, something that is very much a pop album, but
Yeah.
with so many different musical elements that it is. I just wasn't expecting it. His voice is really good, and he sings a lot, and he spits bars every once in a while, and it's the dude can obviously rap, but he doesn't feel the need to on every track. And yeah, man, I'm really impressed with his range. Homie got to work with Elton John, like
Yeah,
come
the
on,
Elton John
man.
piano flourishes in that song are really nice
Oh,
touch
that
in it.
piano. Um, Yeah, I mean, just the fact that he got Elton John, like the Elton John, is just proof of how much influence and pull he has in the
Dude,
industry.
Elton John is fucking tight. Elton John said he's a Channel Trust fan. That's how fucking cool Elton John
I
is.
love Elton John, man.
He loves music so much, and he's a student of it, and he's not done learning, which is amazing. And I love that he's willing to work with people like that you would never imagine. Oh yeah, the guy that wrote fucking Tiny Dancer and Candle in the Wind is gonna work with Lil Nas X. Like
Right, like he's just
only in
it's
2021.
yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, the
So
Lost in the Citadel could have been written and performed by like plus 44. Like
yeah,
like I
I
mean
agree.
there's so many different genres here, and because of that, I really enjoyed it. A lot of the lyrics are far more thoughtful and emotional than I thought than what I was expecting. Again, I think expectations are kind of a weird thing. I gave this album an 8 out of 10, man. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Interesting. I gave it a 6, but I could easily see it being a 7 or 8. Like I feel like it's a pop album, so it's kind of like hard for me to digest them in one or two listens when they have more beyond the surface, because usually pop is so surface level. But there's a lot
Right.
more in this album, especially lyrically, and not to get too off track or too dark, but it's kind of funny. What I'm gonna say is not funny, but my brother passed away in 2018, and I always thought like if somebody were to come back to life and they're like, "What did I miss?" How do you explain Lil Nas X? Like, you're like, buddy, sit down, because like, like it's like Old Town Road is probably the first thing I want somebody's opinion on that has been in like a coma for the past 5 years. Like,
Well, so do you show him the Billy Ray version first, or do you?
yeah, first
I
you
mean,
do Old
first.
Town Road, Billy Ray Cyrus version, and just let them process that. you know, like or yeah, just like, oh, so the most successful artist of all time now, including the Beatles and Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
is Lil Nas X. It's like that Chappelle Show sketch where it's like the richest man in the world is now this ex grocery store worker named Tron.
Yes.
Like, it's like, okay.
Yeah. No, that's fair, man. Like, again, like, yeah. How do you explain that to somebody? That's an
Yeah,
interesting.
it's funny to think of how far we've come in just 3 years in terms of like Takashi 6 9s and stuff. Like this really is it feels normal, but it shouldn't.
I will say that this album cover is extra as fuck. But I
Yes,
mean,
of
all
course.
the power to you, man. You do your thing, man.
It is
If
a
that's how
Lisa
you,
Frank binder. Yeah.
yeah, I was just gonna say, man, if you need to express yourself with colored pencils, then by all means, but again, I thoroughly enjoyed this album, and I was not expecting to, and I mean, I do have to say that Miley Cyrus's voice at the end of this album is kind of perfect to close it, and
Yeah, it was a
I,
smart choice.
I it was, I was thoroughly impressed. I
Yeah,
liked it, so
I
I
agree.
will be coming back to it.
Definitely, me too.
Cool. So moving on, we have an album that I was excited for. Thrice. It's Horizons East. I really liked it. I just kind of want to preface that. I wish we had gotten some heavier Thrice here, but look,
Yes, dude. Yes, yes. That is my thought. I don't mean to cut you off, but
no,
like, that's it. That's it. This would be so much better if they were just like, let's make this just like 10% heavier at
just
all
10%,
times.
right?
Yeah, that's all it
I
needs.
still really enjoyed it. I still did really like it. Look, I think what I really appreciate about this album is the musicality to it. Every single individual band member in this band, they're very good at playing their instruments, and the drumming on this album is just phenomenal. It's very good, and I think that the drumming has been good on most Thrice albums. But I just wanted it to be a little heavier. Scavengers is an incredible song. Overall, it's good. It's not my best. It's not their best, and it's not my favorite of Thrice. But it is. I did really enjoy it. I gave it a 7. I think Scavengers is my favorite. Give me some thoughts here.
So, do you remember last time we talked about Thrice?
Yeah, you talked about Radiohead.
Yeah. So, okay, I'm glad you remember. So I was I'm always very ignorant with Thrice, and this stems from me going to a show where I went to see a band that opened for them, and the person I went with was a Thrice fan. 2.5 hours of Thrice later, I finally got to leave that night, and I've always held it against them. I've I've talked to
Big grudge holder, bro.
bro, that's too fucking long of Thrice. But I've always held that against him, and when you added it, I was actually on the phone with a friend, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm gonna have to listen to some Thrice. This is gonna challenge me." And he was like, "Oh, I fucking love Thrice," and I was like, "Yeah, like I know they have a very passionate fan base, and I kind of forget how they've cultivated it." And so I was like, "I need to put all of my bias aside and just go into this." Because prior to that, the first thing I'd listened to was Robot Soft Exorcism, which, like I said, I stand by it being a Radiohead ripoff song. And then you'd added the single Summer Set Fire to the Rain, which is pretty much a fucking Adele song. I just I'm a little confused by that, but literally lyrically, it's the same song.
Oh,
Um,
fuck, man.
but but I thought when I turned it on, it was good. I like the color of the sky, Scavengers, and Buried in the Sun the best. I think it starts off good. I think Scavengers is probably my favorite of all the songs on it if I had to pick. But yeah, I feel like I'm gonna give it a 4 just because I'm not a big Thrice fan. But like I went into this thinking, oh, this is gonna be a 1 for me. So that's a win for them, I guess, in terms of this. However,
I think you're
like
looking at it the wrong way, John. I think it's a win for you.
it is a win for me. I did not hate that my time with it as much as I thought I would.
Good.
It did give me some things I like. I just think that they would be such a better band if they were like, so we've been listening to a lot of August Burns Red for this album and like just followed that direction.
You know, man, they put out an EP that was pretty heavy. I think it was last year, could have been the year before, and they've released heavier music, and even like past their post-hardcore kind of artist in the ambulance kind of stuff. They can get pretty heavy, and I think. I don't know, man. I saw them live at a festival. I saw them at Taste of Chaos, and I was impressed, man. I thought it was a great show. It wasn't 2 hours, so I can understand 2 hours of really anything is a lot. Two
Yes,
and a half
it
hours,
is.
especially.
I saw Fall Out Boy for 2.5 hours with broken feet and I had a great time. So I don't know, man. I
well,
think it was on them.
with broken feet, you probably couldn't have left. So that's just kind of couldn't have danced your way out of there.
Oh
Uh,
boy. Thank you. Thank you.
How did you how did you break your feet? Did you fall out of a cork tree?
So fun
So-
quick story. I'm actually going to tell this even though you asked it without actually rhetorically.
Please do.
My friend and I bought tickets for, I believe it was called the Dark Clouds, and it was called like the Underdogs Tour, Dark Clouds and Underdogs Tour. It was Fall Out Boy, All American Rejects, From First to Last, Hawthorne Heights, and the Hush Sound. And we bought seats, and my friend and I are big mosh pit people at this point in our life. We're
Right.
in the second, this is Fall Out Boys from Under the Cork Tree era, so they're playing like hockey arenas, 8,000, 10,000 seat places. And this is actually the last time I saw them. Lights go out for Hawthorne Heights. I see an opportunity to jump onto the floor from the upper balcony part that we're on. My friend and I make no rational decision here or like even think about it. We both just blindly jump in the dark. I land like not like on my butt, but like my knees buckled to where I land and like my knees gave. So all the pressure went to my
Jeez.
feet, but I didn't like it was probably like 15 feet up that I jumped from. And I
Yeah.
remember just like being in shock. And this guy came up and he's like, "Are you okay?" I was like, "I think so." And he's like, "Well, then you should move because security's going to come." And like, I walk in, I I find my friend. We're both hurting like hell. We have a great time, and then once the music stops and like it's switching to All American Rejects, we realize like what has happened. Like once the adrenaline wears off, and like
Oh, something's
two
wrong.
two songs into Fall Out Boy, like everyone around us by this point, like this is back when you talk to people around you at a show,
Yeah.
and so we'd all told them what we did, and like they were just like when we realized we couldn't stand anymore, they just like threw us up to the front and like we just so we like got ushered off to the side and just sat against like the wall until it was over.
Oh
And it
man.
was rough. That was 4 hours from home that we had to drive back with like broken shit. It was rough, dude.
That's a fantastic story, man. How was Hawthorne
Yeah.
Heights?
Hawthorne Heights was great. I think that their
Dude, they
second
kill it.
album was not loved enough. The one with Saying Sorry and This Is Who We Are and Pins and Needles. It was fucking awesome, dude. They killed it.
I recently saw them, I think in 2019, open for Silverstein. It was a
Oh,
great
that's a
show.
good
That was a
show.
great
Yeah,
show.
that's a great pairing.
They had a big banner behind them that said, "I used to listen to Hawthorne Heights in high school." And then I think he started with, "Look, guys, we're gonna play a bunch of old shit, but like we have new songs too." And then like started playing Nicky FM or something. So
That's great.
yeah,
Fuck yeah.
they're great spirits. They're great sports.
Gotta
Well,
love
I'm
it.
sorry about your mishap there at the Fallout Boy
Hail
show.
nice. The cherry on top to that story is I'm at the hospital the next day getting x-rays and I tell the doctor what happened and he was like, "Next time roll."
Yeah, I mean
It's
he's
like
not
good
wrong.
advice.
So
Good advice.
all right, man. Well, I think we have one more album,
Yes, we do. And it
and
is the album.
it is the album from the guy, Mr. Boys Noise, Polarity. Why don't you go ahead and take it away here, John?
So we didn't even know if we'd get a Boys Noise album ever again after Mayday. He kind of talked about how even Mayday wasn't planned when it came out. It just kind of came together. And I feel like this is a similar case. I feel like how you were talking earlier about the pandemic putting everything in just this pressure cooker and giving everyone just this infinite amount of time, seemingly at least, to work on whatever they wanted. He really buckled down and started just working on a lot of different things that he hadn't tried before. These collaborations with Kelsey Lou, Love and Validation, and Ride or Die are both so different than anything he's really done before them. And I think it shows just this insane growth. But he also knows that he's cultivated a fan base on a certain sound, and he knows that you're there when you see a new Boys Noise album to get that fix. And he starts you off right away with Close, which is just goddamn. Like the dude has not lost a step when it comes to making these just fucking electronic bangers. And he carries this energy throughout the album, even though it takes these little left turns. I think the only thing weird to digest about this album is that we'd heard a lot of it before it came out. Love and
Right.
Validation, I think she released as a single. Girl Crush came out last year.
Yep.
All I Want came out a month or two ago. IU had come out. Express Yourself, Nude, Ride or Die. So we'd heard about half, which is why I said I think this one came together as well. He realized he had the bulk of an album and kind of just needed to flesh it out. But I think that there's so many like songs like Polarity, which I guess is the title track technically, are just like I'm still digesting how good that song is. Like I've had a few weeks with this album and I feel like I'm still just scratching the surface of how good it is. He definitely carries on certain themes from Mayday, I would say, like on tracks like Detune that feel like this could be on Strictly Raw 1 or anything like Mayday. And it's that consistency that I really appreciate. Act 9 kind of feels like an attempt like Star Child a little bit. Like I want to get a really good singer and just try and do something a little different. And I think it works. I think this album might be lacking a little cohesion between certain songs, but that doesn't really bug me. We've talked about Express Yourself and Nude and how great those fucking songs are, and All I Want and the Purple Disco Machine remix of that.
Oh
So I
yeah.
was most excited for what was new on this album. And like I said, Close right away, great. Greenpoint, good, not necessarily memorable. Polarity, fantastic song. XYXY, good God, the things that are going to happen in Burgine to that song. Affection, my favorite song on the album. Abra's just a fantastic R&B singer, and he made the perfect beat for her to just float on. I really, really enjoy that one.
He's getting really good
I'll,
at that.
yeah, D-Tune, like I said, this sounds a lot like Cerebral off Strictly Raw 1, which is a great song. We've heard IU, we heard Express Yourself. Sperm's kind of one of the few, I don't know, it might be a skip. I don't know. It's the song I go back to the least so far. And then we end it with just Nude, which I don't know. Affection's my personal favorite, but Nude might be the best. Ride or Die, which is a beautiful piece of work and
Yep.
I think is really going to stand out as his career goes forward. And he caps it off, like I talked about with Act 9, which is a great. I'm glad he placed that song at the end of the album. I wish he would have done that with Star Child to really give it the like emphasis it deserves. This was fantastic. It was everything I could have asked him to do and more. I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. And I could see an argument for an 8. I could see an argument for a 10. The only reason I'm not giving it a 10 is because, like I said, there's a little bit of cohesion there, and there are Boys Noise albums I like more than it. So I would say if those are a 10, then this one isn't far behind, but is just as good. And I'm not let down or disappointed at all as a fan of his. So that's
Yep.
all I really care about. What
Well,
about you?
I mean, you kind of hit all the points, man. I think it was you who made the joke, John, and it's what's your favorite song off of Strictly Raw Volume One, and why is it cerebral? So sorry, I remember that so clearly.
Yeah.
All right, so Boys Noise, an album. They're always just highly anticipated. They're always just going to be just hyped up. At the very least, between you and I actually just kind of took a peek at the album, and it doesn't have very impressive play counts. And it's weird that like this album wasn't. It feels because Boys Noise is such a huge deal to me. It's so weird that he doesn't like blow up on these forums. Like it doesn't make sense to me. But oh well. I think that this album is it's just filled with juxtapositions, and they're everywhere in this album, and I think that that's on purpose, right? I think the whole entire concept behind this album is polarity and him doing things that he would normally do, just combined with the other thing that he would normally do, and kind of putting two things together and making them work. Like you said with the Abra song "Affection." I mean, just being able to kind of just meld sounds together the way that they're supposed to be melded together.
Hmm.
God, man, Close is such a fucking perfect opener. It's such a
Yeah,
perfect opener, man. And
that's
then
gonna be the one I'm most looking forward to hearing live out of
yeah,
these.
it's just a perfect opener. Polarity is, like you said, just absolutely incredible. I really liked D-Tune, and then obviously all the singles we heard. All I Want just is so infectious, man.
Hmm.
You're right. There's a couple skips here. I don't really listen to Sperm. I don't really listen to Greenpoint that often when I go back to it, but it is a very it's kind of the perfect entry to his catalog at this point. If he never makes an album again, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, I
Because
agree.
it's this is great. And then fuck that Chili Gonzalez song, Ride or Die.
Yeah, I guess a kind of unofficial Octave Mind song on the album.
Yeah, I think the only reason it's not an Octave Minds is because Kelsey is on it as well, Kelsey Lou. Um,
True.
yeah, man, I also gave it a 9. I couldn't decide whether between Polarity and Detune for my favorite, for my standout, but it overall is very much a Boys Noise album. It's also
I'm gonna
very much
answer for you. Your favorite is D-Tune because that's the song you would be headbanging to the hardest at a live show.
yeah, man. I can't help but headbang to a Boys Noise show. What do you want me to say? What do you want me to do? I recently found a video of me seeing Boys Noise at Hard Summer 2015, and you can see us in the crowd. We are about 3 or 4 people behind the people in the front row. Somebody came on stage, one of his crew, and videoed the crowd, and we all made acid smileys to kind of wave
Yep.
at the show. And yeah, man, it's pretty neat. It was that was a very sweaty show. Uh, yeah, I'm just a huge fan of this album. I'm a huge fan of Boys Noise. I'm glad we got some more material. He'll be able to tour on this for a couple of years, and we'll probably get another
Yeah.
Strictly Raw in another year or so. And I mean, shit, man. Well, one can
He's
hope
hitting the
for a.
road soon, I believe.
He's already been to my neck of the woods, and I did not make it. He played Crossed Festival.
Oh, that's right. Yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's been trying to get back on the road. I
I want to
I
see
think
him in a club. I don't want to see him at a festival again. I
oh
want to see
yeah,
him in a
same.
warehouse or a
Same.
club.
Same. I think what's really cool about his fan base is that, like you're saying to the point about the play count streams not being very high at this point, it's being a fan of his, especially when you're at a show of his, you feel like you're part of a smaller community. It's like if you know thing. Like if he's playing in Hollywood and you're in line to get in, everyone in that line is very excited because you all know that you're going in there to see Boys Noise. Somebody walking by seeing tonight Boys Noise, they're like, the fuck is that? I don't even care. Like it's definitely
True.
like he's not a massive crossover sensation. And everyone has their reason. Like you're saying, you have your hard summer experience. I had the Coachella experience. And by the time we were at these shows, it's just all these people that heard something about this guy's weird ass style of electronic music over the past 15 years that keeps them coming back, whether it be fucking Oi 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 or Contact Me, which was, I think, the first song of his that really drew me. And like, it's
Circus
interesting
full of
how he
clowns.
cultivates this. Exactly. But I think the last point I want to make about this album is something I was speculating on earlier this year, and that's that working with all these giant names, Lady Gaga, Ariana Grande, Frank Ocean, ASAP Rocky, he really didn't give a shit. Like none of that changed him at all. None of
Oh,
that
not even a
changed
little
what
bit.
Boys Noise is. Those are songs produced by Alex Ritta, pretty much, not
Yep.
Boys Noise.
Yep.
And I think that I'm relieved to see it, but I also did kind of want an ASAP Rocky verse on here somewhere.
Well, I mean, he's done a bunch of hip hop stuff, man. I mean,
He has
he did that Snoop Dogg on Out of the Black, and then
on
he
Out of the
did like
Black. Yep.
he didn't he did a Playboy Cardi song. He did a Ty Dolla Sign. I mean, he's done a couple of rap stuff.
He
So
has. He has. And yeah, he's got Dog Blood, he's got Handbrakes, he's got Octave Minds, he's got what's the side project that he has now too? Elax.
oh
He's
yeah,
got
fuck, I forgot about Elax.
dude,
Damn.
the guy is fucking going, man. And I don't know. We're lucky.
Yeah.
Us boys noise stands are being fed, as the Twitter kids would say.
Well, that phrase is certainly not a vibe, but we're gonna go ahead and end. We're gonna go ahead and end the show on those notes, and I want to thank you for adding some music that I probably wouldn't have listened to without you this month, John. I appreciate that, and I'm excited to talk about next month and the next month and the next month because holy shit, the end of this year is gonna be fucking wild.
Yep. More dad vibes.
More dad vibes. All right, guys. Well, you have a great night. And don't forget to check the show notes and go ahead and smash that like button.
Peace.